Okay, good afternoon. Right, so I hope you can hear me. Right, so let's start the sessions. So today I will take about half an hour to give a brief introduction into the A-level ICT syllabus and how are we going to do this class. And then we'll straight away start the topic 1, and possibly we can start the topic 2 as well. I mean, not finishing the topic 1. We want to start 2 topics parallelly. Okay, so that is the idea, right? So I have sent you the Google Classroom invitations to your Gmail address. I hope some of you have accepted, right? Some of others, they haven't accepted yet. Okay, so once you get the access, those who get the access under classrooms, so you can see the introduction to computer topic, and also you can see introduction to ICT. So those are the 2 topics that we will be starting parallelly, and rest of the stuff we will be gradually enabling when the classes goes on. Okay, so that is the idea, right? So before moving to our the topic today, I just want to give us brief introduction to the A-level ICT and then the syllabus. Okay. So this PDF file is available again in the Google Classroom under syllabus and official material. So this is your syllabus, official syllabus from the government, and this is the presentation I used in this session. Okay. So, right. So let me start that. Right. So introduction to your syllabus and the course. Right. First of all, a very brief introduction to myself. I'm Nalak Gamage. So I worked about 12 years in the IT field as a software engineer, a tech lead, solution architects, and so on. Sorry, about 8 years in the field in different companies like Virtusa, John Keys Computer Systems, IFS Sri Lanka, and so on. So then I moved on to lecturing. So currently I'm conducting classes for BIT degree, that is the external degree program of the University of Colombo. Of course, I conducted classes for BIT University of Moratu also. Right now, I'm not doing that because I'm full-time concentrating on the University of Colombo degree because I'm coordinating that. And also, I'm just conducting one class for A-level ICT for last 3 years. So therefore, I'm not a sort of a professional A-level ICT teacher. Okay, but I do one class each year. So okay. Then that is online class. Okay, right. But I am very serious on A-level ICT also because whatever I'm doing, I'm very serious on, right? Because I know A-level is very important for your future. So therefore, don't worry. I'm just doing one class, but I'm really 100% committed to whatever I'm doing. Okay, right. And also I'm having a engineering degree from University of Moratuwa and also IT degree, MSc from Keys University, UK. Okay, so that is a brief introduction into myself. Right, so let's move on to the more important stuff, your course. Okay, right. So remember now you are into the A level or advanced level. So you have followed or you have passed your kindergarten, primary education, secondary education. Okay, and now you are into the secondary education advanced level. So you guys are now no longer children, actually you guys are teenagers, and while you are in the A level, right, you will be transit into adult, right? So that is, therefore this is a difficult time for you guys also. A lot of differences are happening quick and fast. Okay, so therefore your brain is also growing really fast these days, right? So therefore that is why you are introduced to the advanced concepts, right? Advanced level. So you have to manage it, right? You have to manage this transition very effectively. So that is part of your skills or expectation. Okay, so therefore don't think that you are no longer kids. Okay, so you are teenagers and your brain is far growing day by day, right? So therefore try to be more serious, take more responsibilities. Okay, uh, whatever you are doing. Okay, whatever you are doing, because A level is not a joke. I'm not saying that O level is a joke, but A level is a serious stuff. Especially in Sri Lanka, it is, I would say, it's too serious for you guys to handle. But whether you like it or not, so you have to face that challenge. We all went through that, and we know that it is not a joke. It's serious stuff, right? So therefore, so you need that commitment during the next 2 years, but at the same time make sure don't take it too seriously also, so you enjoy your life, right? And while you do all the other things, make sure you get the good results as well. Okay, uh, right. So when it comes to your advanced level, remember, this is why we call it advanced level. This is no longer ordinary level, because you are asked to pick 3 subjects. Right. So unlike O level, where you were forced to do subjects, whether you like it or not. But this is, you have the freedom to pick subjects. Right. So therefore, when you pick subjects, it must be something you really like, you are really comfortable, because otherwise you can't get into depth. Okay. So I hope you have selected your subject wisely and you really like those subjects, right? And you are ready to dig into advanced level into that these 3 subjects. Whatever the subject, I don't mind. I hope one of the subject is ICT. And also you have to concentrate on all 3 subjects, right? Because otherwise what happens is, when you concentrate on 3 subjects, if you find that one particular subject or 2 subjects you are not very interesting, or you find it difficult, so it affects the other subjects also. So therefore, make sure you balance these 3 subjects. Okay, balance these 3 subjects, so that you get good results, because no point getting 2 A's and 1 F. Okay, so it's better to get 3 B's. Okay, so that is also, you have to after, when you do your different subjects, you get feel for which subject you want to give a little bit more effort, which subject you can little bit relax, and so on. So therefore, don't spend equal time for each and every subject. You have to proportionately, you have to decide which subject I want to give more effort, and uh, so on. Okay, and also it's a 2 year thing, so it's like a marathon. It's not a 100 meter, right? Unfortunately, it's a 2 year work, but in other countries, usually advanced level is conducted as uh, at AS1 and AS2, right? So after the first year, they conduct set of exams, and then the second year, you concentrate on the other topics, and then face the exams again. That is the better or proper way to do it. But unfortunately, this is Sri Lanka, so you have to face all good and bad. So therefore, you have to keep 2 years of work and face the exam, which is sort of a very bad thing. But I told you, if you live in Sri Lanka, you have to face all these bad things also, because we also went through that. It's not a nice experience, but we have to. Okay. And also, you know that A level is very competitive exam. But when it comes to ICT, I don't see that it is very competitive, because there are so many opportunities available, both private sector, government sector, and so on. So therefore, usually you guys, those who are doing ICT, they don't feel that competition as much as someone who is doing biology and so on, because they have no other options, right? So they are helpless. But it doesn't mean that you can just relax, give your best, do your best, and try to get the best out of you, right? Whether uh, even though you have less competition, because we have so many opportunities in ITP. Okay, but whatever you do, try to give the best. Okay, try to get the best out of you. Okay, right. So when it comes to the ICT syllabus, that is what we are more interested. Okay, uh, So this A-level ICT syllabus is actually, when you compare any other ICT, A-level ICT syllabus in the world, your A-level ICT syllabus is far bigger and it goes into far bigger depth. Actually, I don't like to call this A-level ICT. I would call this A-level computer science. So this syllabus is more advanced than even Cambridge or Edexcel computer science syllabus. So in Edexcel, Cambridge, they have two subjects. That is ICT and computer science. Okay. Computer science. So your ICT syllabus is actually even advanced than the computer science syllabus. So therefore, a lot of students, now remember ICT subject is a common subject. So anyone can do it. But usually computer science is for science students, right? Science students doing something like maths, physics, right? So then maybe they can do it without doing chemistry or something like that, right? But then they have the ICT syllabus, which is common. Anyone can do it. That is something like commerce students, art students, and anyone. But again, I'm telling you, the Sri Lankan ICT syllabus is even more complicated, complex than, right? So if you take Edexcel computer science syllabus, right? Actually, I took the two syllabuses also because a lot of students think that this is ICT, this is nothing. But unfortunately or fortunately, with the name of ICT, what you are doing is something even more complicated than computer science in other A-level syllabuses. Okay. So, for example, I just because I have to explain this in the very first day. No point explaining you this after 6 months or at when the exams are nearing. Okay. So because we have to prepare you for the challenge. Okay. So you must know the reality. So this is basically the Cambridge advanced level ICT syllabus. You can see information technology syllabus. A's and A level means I told you they conduct this in 2 steps. A level is conducted in 2 steps. Okay. So this is the 2025-27 syllabus, that is from next year onwards. I will just show it. So this is ICT syllabus in Cambridge A level. Okay. So we call it London A level also. So I'll just show you the overview of the syllabus only. Where are the overview of the syllabus? Right. So these are the top, overview, content overview. I don't know whether you can see it properly. Right. So this is basically AS level. Right. Then the advanced level, that is level year 1, year 2. Okay. So it has data processing and information, hardware and software, monitoring and controlling, algorithms and flowcharts, e-security, the digital divide, expert systems, spreadsheets, modeling, database and files, video and audio editing, IT in society, new and emerging technologies, communication technology, project management, system lifecycle, data analysis and visualization, mail merge. These are things we do with Excel basically. Graphic creation like photo editing, animations, so something like simple animations, programming for web, that is an introduction to HTML and so on. Okay, so that is ICT syllabus in Cambridge A level. Okay, ICT or IT syllabus. Now I will show you the computer science syllabus of the Cambridge. So this is computer science, advanced level computer science. Okay. So we'll take the new syllabus right straight away. Then I will show you your syllabus also. Because you have to get out of ICT mindset and get into the computer science mindset. That is what I want you to do. Okay. right? So syllabus overview. I'm just showing the syllabus overview only because otherwise it take time. Right. So this is the A-level computer science, okay, not the ICT. Information representation, communication like networking, hardware, processor fundamentals, system software, security, ethics and ownership, database, including SQL and so on, uh, algorithm design and problem solving, that is programming, and data types and structures, again, the full programming subject, software development, data presentation, representation, communication and internet technologies, hardware and virtual machines, system software, security, AI, computational things and problem solving, and further programming. Okay, so this is computer science syllabus. And if you look at your syllabus, actually your syllabus go beyond this particular syllabus. So your syllabus has all the things in this computer science syllabus, plus things that we usually do in sometimes even semester 3 or level 2 in degree programs like PHP, server-side development, and so on. Okay. So anyway, those things are also not in this computer science syllabus also, right? So I'm not scaring you. I'm just showing you the expectation. Okay. So now I will show your syllabus. So this is your syllabus. Actually, I would say this is computer science with the in the wrapping of a ICT. So they have just labeled it as ICT, but basically you are getting computer science, right? So don't ask me why. It's a big story, right? So it is not for you guys to discuss. It is something for others to discuss and uh, resolve these issues. Okay, right? So this is your syllabus. I will again show you the big picture only. Right. So this is your syllabus. The concept of ICT, introduction to computer, data representation, fundamentals of digital circuits, computer operating systems, data communication and network. So this syllabus go way beyond the computer science syllabus of the edXL or the Cambridge. System analysis and design, database management. So this is basically covering almost everything that we do in the degree level also, right? So more than 50% of what we usually cover in university levels. Programming, okay. Web development. So this is where we cover almost all the technologies, including server-side technologies, which usually we don't cover in advanced level computer science also. And of course, the Internet of Things, which is Arduino, sort of a robotics related things. And then ICT in business, new trends and future developments in ICT. And of course, the project you don't have to worry. That is not something covered by your exams. So therefore, what I want to tell you is, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is serious stuff. It's serious stuff. Yes, this was a joke about 3 years ago. I think the joke is not a correct word, but yes, it was something very casual about 3 to 4 years ago. Though the syllabus was big, they never checked the depth of the topics. They just touch the surface of the topics because ICT subject is new and so many things, and only few number of students used to do ICT subjects, right? Only few now. Any lot of students are doing ICT subject even from far away because of the online classes and online resources. So at that time, it was not that challenging because it's natural, right? When only few students have the courage to do the subject, so they easily get through, and the exam was not that high standard. So right now, right? So this has become a normal subject, just another subject. So therefore, a lot of students are doing it, and therefore, so you need to show a lot of commitment, a lot of seriousness, right? When you do this subject. Okay, so it's something like the students who are doing chemistry, physics, and maths. I wouldn't say to that level, but very close to that level. Okay, right. So just keep that in mind. Okay, just keep that in mind. When you are doing ICT, this is basically computer science wrapping the name of the ICT. Okay, right. Right. So these are the topics in our local syllabus. So I have just categorized. You have, if you forget about the project, you have 13 topics. Okay, you have 13 topics. Uh, so this is the topic names, the number of periods, and the nature and relative complexity. So this is something I have done basically, right? So you can see that the first topics are basically theory topics. Then we have more practical topics like database, programming, web development, Internet of Things, and so on. Right? So then again, you have some theory topics. Okay, theory topics. And also you can see that the number of periods. So these topics need less number of periods, and the middle topics need more number of periods. So that means the topics are something like this. So less number of period topics. Then middle you have bigger topics, and at the end again you have small topic. So that is how the syllabus has been structured. So that means small topics, big topics, again small topics. Okay, so therefore we have to start a little bit faster because we have to spend a lot of time in the middle, like programming, database, web development, and so on. And also there are more practical subjects, right? More practical subject. That means we have to do those things in as a practicals as well. And also they are more complex subject as well. You can see middle subjects are more complex. The early level subjects and last subjects are relatively easy. So that is how they have structured it. Anyway, that is not a bad thing, right? That is not a bad thing. So you start gradually, get into more complicated things, and then you can relax a little bit because you have to spend more time for exam preparations and so on. Okay, right. So basically it covers the fundamentals of what is a computer, what is data and information, what are the usages of ICT. So those are covered in topic one. Topic one is basically the introduction to the IT field, ICT technologies, right? Classifications. Then you learn more about the computer architecture and how the computer work in your second topic. Okay. So then how the data is represented in the computer, including the binary numbers and so on. So then how the data is processed using logic circuits. So then we move on to the how the operating system works, then how the computer networking is done, then software development process, right? And software development process and methods. Then we move on to the database management system, programming, web development. Again, it's more into programming. So those are the software development side. These three are the technical side. This is the theory part. So then we move on to we move away from the software development and we move on to Internet of Things, which is Arduino and little bit of digital electronics. Then we move on to again theory parts like how to use ICT for businesses, what are the new trends, technologies, just so we work those things. Okay, so that is how the syllabus goes. That is how the syllabus goes. And again, you get two papers, MCQ paper, then structured essay paper. Where structured essay, you don't have any optional questions. You have to do all the questions just like MCQs, but you have to write the answers in a given small space. Then you have the essay questions. You can pick some questions, but those are really advanced questions where you must know in and out of the topic to do it. For example, you must know everything about databases to do the database question. You must be really comfortable with programming to do the programming question and so on. Okay, right. So what are the expectations if you want to do ICT subject? Okay, because I told you this is a choice. It's your decision, right? So it's your decision. So you have to decide based on your skills, your likings, and so on. And uh, it's a long-term thing also because it affect your career, your professions later on also, right? So therefore, this is a serious decision you have to take, right? So what we need is, of course, in general, for any subject, we need these things. Okay. So your attitude, your skills, and your knowledge. So then, so don't expect that we are expecting a lot of things about your ICT. And of course, we are not expecting that you have done O-level ICT. Even if you haven't done O-level ICT, it's not an issue, right? Because we will be covering everything. We will be covering everything. But if you haven't done O-level ICT, initially you have to put a little bit more effort because that is your task. Right? Right. So when it comes to attitude, because this is a technical subject, this is science subject, especially those who are doing a mixture of art and science subjects, right? Commerce and ICT, art and ICT. This is little bit easier for those who are doing technology and this ICT subject and maths and this ICT subject, because it's anyway your mindset is pretty much into the technology and science, especially those who are doing a combination of art subject and ICT. So you have to be very careful. So this is a technology subject, right? This is a science subject. I told you this is computer science wrapped in the name of the ICT. Okay. So just you have to shift the focus, your thinking, right, to someone who learn science subject. Okay. So anyway, if you like ICT, that is not an issue. You can do it. You can easily do it. Okay. So if you are good at something, usually you are good at other things also. For example, if you are good at playing guitar, so that is a great skill. So then, because if you don't have good logical thinking, good abstract thinking, you can't play guitar. Right? So then you can take that skill, that passion into other areas also. Right. So we hope that you have passion for ICT. Right. So passion for ICT means not you like to play video games, computer games, right? So passion for ICT means you like to know how the computer work. You like to know or you like to contribute to the society by learning IT related concepts like software development, networking, and so on, right? Again, passion for ICT is not that you used to play computer games. No. So if you have passion to develop computer games, right? So this is subject for you. And of course, we need some constructive thinking from you guys, because this is all about developing databases, developing uh, programs, developing websites, developing networks. So we construct things. So that is what is meant by engineering mindset. So if you like building things, not destroying things, so you will enjoy ICT. And of course, if you want to get good results, you must be a quality conscious person, right? So that means you must have the attitude so that whatever you do, you want to do with the great quality. You want to get the best out of you, right? And of course, you need to be a productive person, because this is not a small syllabus, fairly big syllabus. So otherwise, what will happen is when the exams is nearing, you will get blank, right? If you are not a productive, if you are not a quality conscious, if you are not logical thinking person. Okay. So that is what we expect from you guys, right? So you guys must be having that, especially that attitude, passion for the IT field. Okay. So then we don't expect a lot of skills, but the basic skills, the number one is your logical thinking. Because when we write a program, right, when we design a database, it's all about logical thinking. So, right. So anyway, logic is one part of your syllabus also. So you must be a really good logical thinker. So logical thinker doesn't mean you must be good at maths. No. Maths is one area where we use logical thinking, but we can apply logical thinking in programming, database designing also. That is, we don't do any calculations. We don't work with numbers. Okay. So therefore, don't think that I need to good at maths too, do programming and other things. No, you need to be good at logical thinking. Like you like to solve puzzles, you like to play games like chess. So that is logical thinking, right? So when someone is playing chess, he or she is not doing any calculations. right? But that is also analytics, logical thinking, right? And so on. And of course, the basic skills in using the computer and internet. Otherwise, you can't join us online session and so on. Okay. And also try to collaborate with others, right? Help each other, get help from others, because this is a huge area. So when you are learning a huge area, you have to get help from others, and also you have to help others. Okay. And also you need to be sort of a leader. So because this is a very big area, so you need to take initiatives in going to YouTube, going surf the internet, search for tutorials, search for some interesting record videos and so on, right? So you must be a very proactive person when you are studying, because you know that ICT field is, the knowledge is getting updated, right? Very fast, very fast. So that is why you saw that the Cambridge syllabus, so they have already published the 2000 uh, new syllabus for 2024-25, because that is what we need, right? Of course, your A-level ICT syllabus is little bit stuck that right now. Not only A-level ICT, almost all the syllabuses, because the country is going through all these issues. Otherwise, usually your A-level ICT syllabus get update all sort of each 4 years. Okay, but right now, unfortunately, because the government is even struggling to conduct the A-level exams, so therefore it has not been updated for last 6-7 years. Okay, but anyway, your syllabus is so into the depth, it is not a big issue when it comes to ICT subject. Okay, but otherwise ICT subject, they usually have to update it every 4 years. Okay, right? So we don't expect a lot of knowledge, right? So basic arithmetic, maybe you can add two numbers, subtract two numbers, multiply, that is enough, right? We don't need any other mathematical skills from you guys, and bit of general knowledge. And of course, since we are doing it in English language, so basic your English grammar knowledge and so on. Okay, so that's it, right? We are not expecting anything else from you guys. Uh, and remember, so there are two type of classes, right? Two type of classes, the physical classes and online classes, right? So not everyone is, or the physical classes are not suitable for everyone. Online classes are not suitable for everyone also. Okay. So online classes are for those who are more self-motivated, those who like your freedom, right? So those who are very proactive, you like to learn by yourself, those who are more responsible, right? And so on. So if otherwise, you have to find a good physical class. That is where you get pushed by the teachers and so on, right? At least uh, you have to physically go there, right? So then when you go there, you can't come back, right? But here you have all the freedom, right? You have all the freedom. So therefore, this is for more responsible, proactive, self-motivated students. Okay, who like to take things seriously even when no one is pushing you. Okay, of course, I am not pushing anyone. So I am a very liberal uh, teacher. I don't care whether you pass or fail. Okay, I don't care at all, because those who have the qualities, they should pass. Those who don't have that commitment qualities, let them fail, because we need different type of people to the society, right? Because everyone can contribute whatever the caliber you have, but it's your task to get the maximum out of you. Okay, right? So therefore, our in this class, the teaching model is we want to make it very only relevant things. We want to present it in the simplest possible way, the shortest possible way, and the very clear manner. That is why we are doing only 2 hour sessions, right? 2 hour sessions, and we started late also. So we don't conduct classes for 4 hours, right? To 5 hours. No, even when the exams are nearing, it is 2 hours. Okay. And because we want to, we don't discuss any politics or your life problems or anything. It will be 100% your subject matter. Okay. And we try to give you the very simple uh, clarifications in a very short and simple manner. Okay. And we will use what, why, how approach for each and every topic. So we will discuss what is that concept, why is that concept is important. So then we'll discuss how to do it. Right? So in our education system, one of the biggest issue is students don't know why. Right? Students don't know why, they don't know how. For example, they know how to work with logarithms, but they don't know what is logarithm. Right? So they don't know how the photosynthesis work, how the that chemical reaction, this chemical reaction work, but they don't know what is science or what is scientific approach. So, right. So therefore, we will spend more time on what and why, right? Because this is not the big thing. Okay. And of course, we don't do any spoon feeding in this class, right? So we just facilitate. Right? So you have to get it, right? You have to get it. We just try to give you. So it's something like my task is uh, prepare the best food and serve it to the table. I am not going to serve it. I am not going to feed you. So I will make sure that it is the most nutritious, most delicious, but I am not going to force anyone to have it, right? So if you like it, you have it from here, or if you find this boring, you can go to any other class and uh, get it from there. Okay. So no spoon feeding, no pushing. Okay. And we focus on quality, not the quantity. So that is why we are conducting classes only 2 hours. So we try to give the, because I personally found my school time very boring, because it's too much of time I have to stay at the home, stayed at the school. But I enjoyed classes, tuition classes, because at that time when I did the A level, we used to have only 2 hours per one subject, right? 2 hours per one subject. These days, I know that a lot of tuition classes they conduct 4 hours, 5 hours, spoon feeding. But I am someone who enjoy uh, lesser is better. Okay, lesser is better. Uh, the more is boring. Okay, so that is my philosophy. Right, and also you have to make sure that studying is really interesting task. So studying must not be something you don't like. Studying must not be something you uh, find it really fed up. Okay, right. So that's our philosophy, right? And also when you're doing online studying, so make sure you read the notes before attending the session. So that is the best practice, right? So read the note related to that particular day before attending the session. Just read it, okay? So then if you don't understand anything, you are in a better position to get those things clarified, because you have already read the material, okay? And also after the session, uh, attempt the quizzes. So no one is going to look at your marks. I don't look at your marks. Don't worry, I'm not going to report your marks to anyone, your parents or whatever. I told you I'm a very liberal person, right? I just prepare it. If you want, you can get it. So those quizzes are there. I will show you the quizzes. That is to check whether you have understood it by yourself, not us. Okay. And also, we will be providing the class recordings, each and every class recordings, whether you attend it or not. That is in case you miss a class, and also when the exams are nearing, if you want to revision it something or clarify something again. Okay. And also you can use the WhatsApp chat. Whenever you have a doubt, you can post it to the WhatsApp chat group or personally to me, but better to post it to the WhatsApp chat so that everyone get the benefit. Okay. So use it. So that means 24 by 365, you get the support. Right. So if I am free, if I am in a class, of course, I don't reply. But at the end of a sort of every class, I reply to almost all the chat messages. Okay. Right. So just keep it in mind. So don't do any of these bad things. So these are the possible traps. Right. So don't learn in something that you don't like. So I hope you guys all like ICT. That is why you are here. Again, if you want, you can again think about it. Okay. Uh, And if you have too much of study materials, again, you are in trouble because you don't know what to do with that. So that is why we try to give you a short notes, very short notes and so on. And also I prefer if you, of course, at the beginning, you can attend maybe 1 or 2 classes. That is what I also did in my, when I'm doing my A level. But after sometimes I settle to one class, just one subject, one class. Otherwise, too much of information, too much of notes, and it's called overloaded, right? Overloaded. So you have to find your best class and stick to that, and have faith in your teacher as well, right? Because otherwise, if you go here and there and everywhere, right? So why don't you just pick your best, okay? And try to organize things, right? Make mind maps, short notes, have the past papers up front, right? Syllabus, right? And everything with you from the day one, okay? From the day one, not when the exams are nearing. So you must know, have the syllabus. So in the Google Classroom, you can find the syllabus I showed you, right? So then you can check whether which part we have covered, which part are yet to be covered, which percentage of the syllabus is done, right? So then you must have the past papers. So don't wait until we do the past papers when a topic is done. So you can do all the past paper questions, and right, if you have any questions, you can ask. And make sure you have focus, right? Of course, I'm not asking you to do only studies in your 2 years, but have some dedicated focus for studies also. Maybe at least 2 hours per week for ICT. Okay, maybe 2 hours for class and another 2 hours for your studies. I think that is enough. That is enough. Maybe for the first year, you have to increase it a little bit later, right? So don't spend too much of time also, right? So if you do these things from day one, you will feel more and more relaxed, more and more happy when the exams are nearing, right? So if you do it in the wrong way, when the exams are nearing, you will feel more and more stress, right? It will be a burden to you. So therefore, you have to do it in the proper way so that uh, you feel that you enjoy your studies, right? You enjoy your studies rather than studies become a curse for you, right? Studies become a stress for you, okay? Right. So why we are conducting it English, of course, it is your choice as well, right? So I highly encourage any student to study ICT in English, not only in ICT, any subject, because you get a lot of advantages, right? So you get unlimited resources in the internet, right? So in the internet, the majority of the resources are in the English language. So you get that access, right? You get that access, YouTube videos, tutorials, right? Ebooks, and so on. And also, if you have any doubts, there are plenty of ways to resolve it. Now we have the chat GPT, Google Bard, AI bots. So you can just go and type your question. They will give you the reasonably good answer, sometimes even better than our answers. So you have to use these things. You can go to the YouTube and clarify your doubts. Okay. And also it will give you more autonomy, more freedom. So you will be less rely on us, right? So you will be less rely on your teachers. Of course, you need the guidance from the teacher, but you will feel like, okay, I have so many resources. Okay. Of course, that you have to pick which one is good, which one is not that good, and so on. Okay. And also ICT is a very fast moving subject. So things are moving, changing very fast. So therefore, if you need the latest, right, those who know the English language, they get the latest. Others, they get the outdated information. They rely on others to translate and tell it. So you don't get to have that issue if you learn it, study it in English language. And also, if will give you the confidence to go anywhere in the world, right? Face interviews and live the life that you really like. Okay. Right. So that is a very gentle introduction. Now we straight away move on to our uh, topic number one. Okay. Topic number one. And if you have any questions, you can ask. And definitely, I will be using very simple English, conducting the classes, as well as all the notes are deliberately make them using very simple English, right? Because I know that some of you guys, not everyone, are transiting from Sinhala to English or Tamil to English. Maybe some of you guys have done your O level in Tamil or Sinhala and move into English. And of course, I know that some others are already familiar with these terms, and because you may have done your O level also in English language. Okay, right. So let's move on to our topic number 1. So our topic number 1 is concept of ICT. Then the topic number 2 is introduction to computer. So this is more theory topic, right? More theory topic. Get you familiar with the terms, concepts in ICT. But second topic is little bit more technical. You make you familiar with the computer, its architecture, parts of the computer, and so on. Okay, right. So let me show you the syllabus for the topic 1 as well, that I always do, because you must know what we are doing, right? So this is your official syllabus. Okay. So this is topic number 1. So they are under topic number 1. We have the life cycle of data versus information, definition of information, characteristic of valuable information, right? So the need of handling large volumes of data, then applicability of information in day-to-day life, right? So what are the different usages? So those things we will be looking at right now after the when we start the first session, right? So then emergence of ICT era, right? Usage of information in various domains and so on, and some new concepts emerging like mobile computing, internet, right? Of course, they are no longer new things, right? So then we'll look at the abstract model of information creation. Then what are the components of information system, right? So then some concept related to data processing, data gathering, data input, output, right? Storage, right? And then we'll move on to some applications of ICT in different areas, and some ethical and legal aspects of data and information. And that is your topic number 1. Right? It is not a difficult topic. It is a very easy topic. Right? So at the end of the topic number 1, you must have very good understanding about the basic concepts behind ICT and their usages. Okay. So similarly, I will show you the topic number 2 also, which is more technical subject. So you will learn what is a computer, right? What are the parts of a computer, the hardware, software, and so on. Then little bit of evolution of computer, how the computer has evolved to this level, right? And different classifications of computers, what are the major hardware components, and each and every component, what are their main tasks, little bit of computer architecture, right? So we have something called von Neumann architecture, right? The von Neumann architecture, and how the memory work, how the processor work, what are the buses. It's very technical actually, right? And what is fetch, decode, execute cycle, and so on. Okay. So that is your topic number 2, right? So that is how things going on. So then we'll move on to the topic number 3, which is representing data in the computer, right? How the data is represented in computer, the numbers, images, audio, video, and so on, right? So it's a small topic. Then we'll move on to how the data is processed in the computer using logic gates, digital circuits, right? And so on, which is fairly challenging topic, right? That is where we will be focusing on logic, digital logic. So that is topic number 4. So then we'll move on to operating systems, the classifications, and it's a very challenging topic because the examiner is really tough on these questions. So how the memory is managed, how the hardware devices are managed, how the files are managed by your operating system in a very technical manner, right? So then we'll move on to networking, right? Networking. So that is one of the biggest topic. Actually, I would say that is the biggest topic in your syllabus, right? So we will look at a lot of things like how to create sub networks, securing networks, right? And so on, right? What are the network devices? It's a very technical subject, right? Very, very technical subject. So there's something called OSI architecture, subnetting, subnet mask, uh, DNS, domain name systems, and so on. Okay, it's a very technical subject. Uh, you can see it's a very long subject as well, and also security, encryption, decryption, and so on. So this is just to give you the overview of your syllabus. Okay, so don't worry, don't afraid to look at the big picture, right? So you must not afraid, right? If you are doing an advanced level, you must face to face look at the big picture, because those who look at the big picture, they get big opportunities. For example, the doctor look at the big picture of the patient, not the nurse or the driver, the ambulance driver. Doctor look at the big picture. That is why doctor get the big responsibility. Right? Engineers look at the big picture, right, of a power plant, of a construction project, or of a software information system, right? So accountant look at the big picture. So basically, what we try to pick is those who get the good marks. So you will be picked for those high responsible jobs. So assumption is you are good enough to, you are brave enough to look at the big picture. So try to get that mindset right now. So some students, they are afraid to look at the syllabus. No, look at the syllabus. Look at the syllabus from the day one. Okay, look at the big picture. Never lose that big picture. If you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an accountant, if you want to be an entrepreneur, businessman, right? So when CEO goes to the work, of course, someone will see that he has hardly any work, but he has all the responsibility. He is the one who is looking at the big picture. Okay. Right. So then we'll move on to, so this is, then we'll move on to software development. So software development tasks, software development methods, best practices, project management, okay, in great detail, and also modeling, requirements, designing, testing approaches. So then we'll move on to the database, right? Database concepts, then SQL, how to prepare databases, how to query databases, right? Insert, update, delete, everything. It's sort of a something like the university student. So that is the bad. The good news is after you pass your A-level ICT, if you get into an IT degree or computer science degree, you will feel like, of course, I don't have anything to do. I have very little thing to do because your A-level syllabus have covered those. In a way, it's good. In a way, it's bad, because right in other countries they don't teach getting to that level in the A-level. So therefore, in a way, while you are doing A-level, it's really challenging. But once you get through it, you will find that when you do higher studies, you don't have much to do, because whether you like it or not, you have done it in your A-level in Sri Lankan context. Okay. Right. So this is database. Then you have a lot of designing concepts are there, like normalization and so on. So it's a very big topic. So then programming, right? Programming is there, problem solving approaches, flow charts, pseudocode, and so on. Then you have the Python language. Using Python language, how to convert your design into a code, right? Right. So if you have any questions, you can ask at any time. You can talk, right? You don't have to raise hands or whatever. You can talk at any time. I prefer you talk rather than chat, of course. Okay. Why is it bad then? Which one you are referring to? I am not saying AL ICT is bad. Okay. So don't, right. So what I told is doing too much is bad, right? Because everyone has a capacity, right? Everyone has a capacity. So the way it is done is bad. Because in other countries, you do half of it, you have the exams. Then you do the other half of it, then you have the other exams. Okay. So, but in your case, you have to remember 2 years of stuff and go to exam. So that I don't like. I don't agree. Right. So therefore, whether I like it or I don't like it, it doesn't matter. So I am just preparing you, right? For example, if you are going to climb Mount Everest, I must be very honest. I must tell you, we are going to climb Mount Everest, right? It's very challenging stuff. It is not like Mount climbing Hantana. It's a big task, right? So usually other countries, they don't do that, but you have to do it. So then you have to ask why. Then you have to ask now. Now Sri Lanka, are we do we have Apple computer? Are we manufacturing Apple computers? No. Are we manufacturing Intel processor? Are we developing the Windows operating system? No, right? So who are the famous computer scientists? Do we have our Grigoris, Harmanis? No, right? Sinnaya? No. So these guys have. And these guys' education system is make you relax. Make students relax. Let's not make education burden to them. That is their approach. So that is why they are very careful not to overload the students. Right? So they want students to explore very freely, explore the concepts. Right? And do they have any problems in the universities? No, right? So do they have ragging? They don't have ragging. Right? Do they have what is known as the Rakia Viritu Padari Sankam? Every day shouting in the roads? No, they don't have. Because they build very competent, confident professionals from their education system. Okay. And those countries are really wealthy. Right? Everyone like to go to UK. Not UK people coming to Sri Lanka, right? So no one want to come to Sri Lanka. So there's something wrong with the system. But you guys can't change the system. First of all, you guys have to be successful from the current system. But make sure that don't let that happen to your next generation. You guys must change it. But before that, you have to be successful in the current system. Okay. So therefore, I am not discouraging you. I am facing you for the reality. I am facing you for the reality. Okay. Because I am a very realistic person. Right? I don't tell you that we are just made. අපි මේ චුට්ටක් හන්දියට යනවා කියලා ආව හන්දියට යන්න පොඩ්ඩක් වරෙන් කියලා මේ ඔයාව උත්තර ද්‍රවයට එකයි යන්නේ. මම උත්තර ද්‍රවයට යන්නේ කියන උත්තර ද්‍රවයට යන්නේ ලෑස්ති වෙන්න. Be prepared. Right? So that is what my way of teaching. Because then you have to physically, mentally prepare for that. Okay. Right. So then we have so if you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. If you have any doubt, even a slightest doubt, right? So we can do it. We can do it. Right. But only thing is with that kind of mindset. Again, I am not saying that this syllabus is more difficult than chemistry syllabus, physics syllabus, math syllabus, zoology syllabus, botany or the bio syllabus. No, those syllabuses are way bigger than A-level ICT syllabus. A-level ICT syllabus. Again, I am not saying that therefore those syllabuses are good. No, those syllabuses are even worse. Right? Because that is even too much than this. Okay. So that is why we are not generating scientists, right? We are not generating scientists. We are just generating just professionals, right? Few professionals here and there. Right. because it's not the quantity. What matters is the quality. Right? What matters is the quality. But whether you like it or not, you have to face it. Right? You have to face it. But don't let the next generation face that. Okay. Right. So then we have the programming. Okay. You have the programming. So afterwards you have the, so this is programming syllabus, right? File handling, database handling, and so on. So then you have the web development. You have HTML, CSS, and little bit of JavaScript. And then you have PHP, right? PHP. So this is HTML. So now we are into the PHP with interaction with MySQL databases and so on. Okay. So usually in A-level ICT syllabus, I have never seen any A-level ICT syllabus having PHP or server-side development. So server-side development is for university second year. But in your A-level ICT syllabus, you have PHP also. So be prepared to do that. That means you have to more quantity. Right? You have more quantity to take when you are going for the A-level. Okay. So be prepared for that. Of course, the same issue is with your accounting and other subjects also. Right? So if you are doing accounting, so you learn contents that you are supposed to learn in your university. Okay. Again, I am not saying that that is good, that is bad, but whether you like it or not, you have to accept it, right? Right. So then you have the topic number 11, that is digital electronic and of course the Arduino and things like that. Okay. So there are a lot of practical things are there. Okay. IoT, building those circuits and so on. And final topic is, sorry, not the final topic, the 12th topic is use of ICT for business. So that is a fairly simple topic, right? It's not a very difficult topic. It's small topic as well. And then you have the final topic, emerging technologies. Again, it's not a very complex topic, fairly simple topic. Okay, fairly simple topic. Right. So that is how it goes. Okay. Right. Is this like where we do the exams by studying, where we taught and do the exams easily, or there are any differences? Right. So there's a big difference between O level and A level. Right. O level and A level. So in A level, you must rely on understanding things. Right. So if you don't understand something, you will stuck somewhere. Especially these subjects like ICT, maths, right? Science subjects and so on. So you must rely on how well you understand. If you don't understand, you will stuck or you will find it difficult as well. So therefore, don't worry, it is just like any other subject. But the thing is, you must rely on your understanding. Don't think that I can memorize these things and go and pass. But they don't have something like for this particular thing, right? What is the debit part? What is the credit part? So those things you can memorize. Or what are the type of businesses, right? So those are model questions, right? Predefined questions and answers. But here they ask you to give a problem and ask you to write this program. They give you a scenario and design a database. Okay. They give you a scenario and design a network. So therefore, you must rely on more and more understanding. So that means your focus is understand the concept. Okay. Understand the concept. So you can't spend your last 3 or 5 months. Now, have you seen that there are some advertisements? Have you seen that there are some advertisements? උසස් පෙළ මාස 6න් නැත්නම් මාස 3න් උසස් පෙළ. What I am saying is, so this is not that kind of a subject. මාස 6න් උසස් පෙළ කරන්න පුළුවන් subject එකක් නෙවෙයි මේක. So this is 2-year subject. හරි? 2-year subject. So 2-year subject you can't sleep and right? Get up 2025 January and do this. It doesn't work. Okay. It doesn't work. And anyway, you may not have seen anyone saying that A-level ICT in 3 months, right? A-level ICT in 6 months. No. Right. Right. So let's move on. And you can see whether it is interesting, okay, or it is too much challenging, and so on. I hope everyone will find it's reasonably challenging, but you should be able to handle it because you are Sri Lankan, right? So you are just like us. So if we can handle, why can't you handle? But when I did my A-level, we had 4 subjects, but you guys have only 3 subjects. So that means they have at least released little bit of the stress. Okay. Right. So let's start our topic number 1. You can get the note from the Google Classroom, a concept of ICT. Okay, concept of ICT. Right. So let's start the topic number 1. If you have time, we'll go into the halfway and we'll start the the first part of the topic number 2 also. Okay. Right. Right. So this is topic number 2. Let's open topic number 1. Right. So this is our first part of the topic number 1, introduction to information and communication technology. This is basically the introduction to your subject. Okay. Now remember, the idea is we will be looking at very simple things, but we look at those things in a more serious manner. Right. So we look at the simple things in serious manner. Okay. So don't think that we make simple things complex. No, we make simple things even simpler by looking at more serious. Okay. Right. So we'll look at the evolution of ICT era. What is data and what is information? What is a system? What is the information system? What is mean by communication? What is mean by computer-based information system? And we'll look at some of the new trends as well. Right. So this is not the entire topic 1. This is just small part of topic 1. Okay. Just introduction to topic number 1. Right. So why there is a big interest in studying ICT subject? Right. So I know that these days ICT is the hot subject, right? Like a hot girl, right? So everyone is interested in doing ICT. So what is the main reason? Anyone? Anyone? The simple answer why ICT is the hottest subject in A-level these days, or the hottest area for jobs. Right? So many IT degrees in Sri Lanka. What is the main reason? Because now we are living in the era of IT. Right? So we have passed the hunting era as a civilized sort of in the civilization. Right? Hunting era. So then we pass the agricultural era. So if you think of our Anuradhapura era, Polonnaruwa era, so that is agricultural era. And good part of Sri Lankan people are still in the agricultural era. So then the man moved from agricultural era to what? Industrial era, or we call it industrialization. Roughly at what time? Anyone? Roughly?
British rule?
Just give me rough value for the year. 19 kila, something like that. So when did British people invaded us? 1815, I think they invaded the Kandy, right? Invaded Kandy, yeah. So, yeah. So somewhere 1800, 1700, so this happened. Actually, the Portuguese, so they came before industrialization. Actually, at that time, the industrialization was just starting. So that is why they get that edge, right? They get that edge, right? Guns, better boats, and so on, better ships and so on. So it happened in 1800. So the people like Newton, right, Thomson, Rutherford, Dalton, so they were from this era. So they made this. Right? They made this. So the scientific revolution, like Galileo Galilei, Newton, right, Thomson, Rutherford, electron, right, and so on. So they facilitate the industrialization. The science first came the science, then came the industrialization, the technology and engineering things. So then industrial era continued until 1990s. Now you guys have, all of you guys have born after industrial era. So basically you guys are from information era. So you guys born in information era. For example, I born in industrial era and I saw that transition. I saw that transition. But you guys born in information era. So, but unfortunately, some people still think that we are in the industrial era. No, we are not in the industrial era. It doesn't mean that we are not doing any industrial things, but the dominance is not the industrial aspect. The dominance is in the information aspects. Okay. So if you take the top 10 billionaires, right? About half of them are from the IT field. At least they started in IT field. Okay. So under the top 10 billionaires, we have the founders of the Google. Okay. The founder of the Facebook. Very long time, the Microsoft founder was there, Bill Gates, but he is no longer, I think, in the top 10. So likewise, the top people who rule the world is from IT field. Even Elon Musk, he started from the PayPal, from IT field. Now he has diversified into so many areas. So we are living in the information era. Toraturuge. Okay. So what will be the next? We never know, right? So some people say it is going to be the knowledge era and so on, but it is going to be related to information. It is going to be related to information. So the big things are happening in the IT field. AI, especially these guys, people are really interested in AI, artificial intelligence, right? Data mining, data analytics, right? And things like that. So we are thinking of self-driving car, generative AI, right? So now we are talking about the AI generated images, AI generated contents, right? So a lot of people's jobs are at risk. So if it is AI, it is IT. So the people behind that, those technologies are IT professionals. So now let's look at what is data and what is information. So again, the idea is we look at it not at ordinary level. We look at it in a very advanced level. So that is what advanced level is all about. Okay. We look at things in a more serious manner. So can anyone tell me, according to your understanding, I'm not expecting perfect answers. According to your understanding, what is data?
They are the raw materials.
Raw materials. That is to, for example, if you take something like a bakery, the raw materials are flour, sugar, and so on, right? So raw materials for what?
Materials does not carry specific meaning.
Can you repeat that?
The raw materials which are does not carry specific meanings.
So when I say no, that is also not that good. So you are just looking at one aspect of data. Just look at the big picture of data. So I think you try to give me a textbook's answer rather than you rely on your common sense. Just don't lose your common sense. That is why we say education is bad. Too much education is bad because you forget about your common sense and you start talking about the things in the textbooks. Can you give me example of a data? Anyone? Anyone?
Numbers, letters.
No, I just need an example. Your answers are very advanced, unfortunately. I'm expecting very simple answer. Can you give me an example? For example, if I ask, if someone asks, can you give me example of a sport? I will say cricket. I need that, something like that. Example, if someone asks, can you give me example of a city? I will say Nugegoda. I need that kind of example.
26.
20? 25?
26.
Okay. So why did you say it like that? What is the reason behind your answer?
It does not carry specific meaning.
So why you are always thinking about, do you think that data does not carry a specific meaning? So who told you that? Data does not carry specific meaning. So data carries meanings. For example, my name is a data. Right? So my name is Nalaka. So that is a data. Okay. My date of birth, it's a data. My gender, it's a data. Where I live, it's a data. My telephone number, it's a data. Do you think that data doesn't carry any meaning? So what do these data entry people is doing? Data entry operators? So don't they enter my name? Do you think that they don't enter my date of birth? So I go to the ATM machine and enter my PIN number. Do you think that that PIN number is not a data? Okay. So of course data carry in meaning. For example, when you go to supermarket, you look at the product name. Say it's a signal, it's a sunlight, it's a data. You look at the price. So it says the price is 250 rupees. It's a data. So do you think that 250 doesn't carry any meaning? Of course, data carry meanings. Every data carry a meaning. Right? Every data carry a meaning. For example, if someone asks what is the, if say there's a cricket match between right now, someone will ask what is the score right now. It is a data. It is a data. Okay, so don't think that data doesn't carry a meaning. Data carry a meaning. That is why we are interested in data. Okay. So data is any attribute or properties of an entity. Okay. For example, say I am an entity. So there are so many data related to me. My name. So my name, Nalaka. Okay. My phone number. Say whatever. So those are all my data. So these are properties or attributes of an entity that is myself. Say there's a product in the supermarket. Say something like signal, toothbrush or toothpaste. So it's an entity. And so many data related to that. It's unit price, date of manufacturing, of course the item name. So they are all data. And this is not a data, this is an entity. The toothpaste. So this is, I myself is not a data, I am an entity. And these are data. And yourself is an entity. And you have set of data as well, your name, your date of birth, and so on. So the number one is understand what is data. So data is attributes or properties of entities. Right? Entities. So this is a new word maybe for you guys, some of you guys. මේකට සිංහලෙන් කියනවා මොකක්ද කියලාද? Anyone? O level ICT කරපුවා? Entities වලට? සිංහලෙන් කියනවා භූතාර්ථ කියලා. ඔන්න ඔය හුටපටහන් තමයි අපි සිංහලෙන් ICT ඉගෙන ගන්නවට වැඩි කැමති නැත්තේ. ඒකට කියන්නේ භූතාර්ථ කියලා. හරි? සිංහලෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්න අය. Right. So what is mean by data? Data is attributes or properties of any entity. So then what is entity? So that is the next thing you have to ask. So entity is anything that we are interested. අන්න ඒක තමයි සිංහලෙන් භූතාර්ථ කියලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? Anything that we are interested, it's an entity. So then the properties of that entity, it's a data. Okay. So therefore, don't ever think that data is not useful. So don't ever think that your name is not useful. Don't ever think that your age is not, your date of birth is not useful. Of course, it is super useful. නැත්නම් කොහොමද birthday party එකක් වත්දා. So they are useful. So data is good. Right? So these are examples for data. Name of a student, price of an item, balance of your bank account, or interest rate of your bank account. So those are data. And these are entities. Student is an entity. Item is an entity. Bank account is an entity. So first, the number one you have to do is you must understand what is an entity, what is a data, because this is ICT, information and communication technology. So that is the number one. So that is why I told you, we rely on the understanding, not memorizing things. You can't just memorize a definition and just vomit it to when someone asks it. So that doesn't work, because then you will be challenged. So basically, I'm challenging you. Why? Because I want to make you very tough. I want to make you better. Right? So I always challenge you. Right? So then only we can get the best out of you. Right? Of course, if you can give me an answer and proudly say, now can you challenge me? So that is where, right, you have won. Right? So let me challenge you, maybe for the first few weeks. Then after sometimes you must start giving me answers which I cannot challenge. So then you are the winner, and of course I am also the winner, because that is where I am really happy. Okay. So I am not enjoying challenging you. I am enjoying hearing answers which I cannot challenge. So then I know that it's a definite A in the A-level ICT paper when the results comes. Okay. Right. So I hope you have some idea about what is a data, what is an entity, and data and entities are highly related, right? And one of the important feature of data is a conceptual thing. Right? It's an intangible thing. So a lot of people work with physical things, but we work with IT professionals. We work with conceptual things. We work with data. Right? For example, if it is a doctor work with physical things. So he is going to do a surgery. Physical things most of the time, but he is also doing some working with conceptual things. Sometimes he can't see it physically. He is just listening to your where is the pain is, but he knows that maybe it's a physical thing. Maybe in your stomach there's something wrong. But we, as ICT professionals or someone who work with IT, we work with a conceptual thing called data. So that is why computer is a sort of a mysterious machine. The computer process conceptual data, whereas your washing machine process physical dirty cloth. Your blender blends physical things, right? But the computer process conceptual data. So that is why the computer is in a way interesting, in a way difficult to understand, just like understanding human. But when you understand it in a proper way, systematic way, you can perfectly understand as well. Data is always conceptual thing, right? Data is not a physical, tangible thing. You can't touch it. So then let's dig into what is entity. Because data is a property or attribute of an entity. So just to understand a little bit more about the entities, we can classify them. Because data is always conceptual, but entities are not always conceptual. For example, myself is not a concept. Myself is a physically exists, right? So that signal, the packet of signal is a physical thing, right? So therefore, the entity can be physical thing, and it can be even living physical thing, like a student, a teacher, employee, customer. So they are all entities, and they are living physical things. And of course, they have data, right? They have data. So there are some entities which are physical but not living, non-living, like this piece of the packet of signal or maybe a vehicle. So vehicle is entity. So vehicle has a vehicle registration number, vehicle brand, vehicle, the price, right? Mileage. So those are data. The vehicle is an entity, but it is not a living physical thing. It's a non-living physical thing. So non-living physical things can also be entity, not data, entity. Okay. But they are also, the data is always conceptual. The third one is interesting. The third type of entity is the entity itself is conceptual. Right? The entity itself is conceptual. So this is where the biggest challenge is. Right? For example, if I say a course, right? Course. So course is not a data. Course is an entity because there are properties of course, right? Course name, course starting date, course fee, right? Course type, whether online or physical. So therefore, course is an entity, whereas these are again data of that course. So you can see. Now what is the, now what you have to take it from that? An entity can be living physical, non-living physical, or entity can be conceptual. So you must have an example for each. So then you must know that properties of any of these entity is a data. Whether the entity is physical or non-physical, it doesn't matter. Data is always conceptual. Right? So we don't enter entities into computer. We don't enter humans. We don't enter vehicles. We don't enter, right, students to the computer, but we enter data related to students, data related to vehicle, data related to payment, data related to order. Order is an entity. Payment is entity because payment has properties: payment type, payment date, payment amount. Okay. So payment is an entity, payment date, payment type, and those are data. Okay. So we enter data, right? We enter data into computer because data is always conceptual. Okay. Right. So that is the number one you have to do. You must know what is data, what is entity, and how they are related. Of course, data is related to entities because data is properties of entities. Okay. So likewise, you have to make a null bole ටික ටික ලියනවා අපි. එතකොට so the more you understand, more you will feel happy and more you will feel comfortable. When you don't understand, you are uncomfortable. When you understand, you are comfortable, you are happy. You don't feel any stress. So that is how you face the exams. When you go to the A-level exams in 2025, you must be really happy. You must be really relaxed. Why? There are no mysteries. You know what is data, you know what is entity, you know the connection between data and entity, right? So, but if you just memorize few things, right? This is the definition of that, this is the other one, and you don't know, right? You get helpless when someone challenge, right? So if today, if you feel helpless when I challenge you, right? In 3 months time, you must never feel helpless. Every question I ask, you must have answer. And of course, there should be a situation where I have no questions to ask because I know that I can't question it because the answer is perfect. Right? So you are serious. You don't give me half answers. Right? You give me full answers. Because you think this, that, and everything before giving me answer. And you try to give me the best answer as well. Right? So that is what is entity, what is data. Because we have the databases later. So database is how to save the data, right? So networking is to transfer data. So first of all, you must know what is data is. So programming is to process data. So how do you do database designing, programming, networking? If you don't know what is data in a very, very serious manner. So you must be 110% sure about what is data. Okay. So then only you can learn about database and programming and so on. Okay. So never confuse data with entity. Data is one thing, entity is another thing. Data is property of an entity. Okay. Right. Now we move on to another thing. Okay. That is, what is information? So this is there a lot of confusion. Right. So what is, now I ask the question again. What is information? Can you give me example of a data and corresponding information? So then you must be able to explain this is the data, this is an information, this is the difference between data and information, right? So that is the confidence that you have to build. So anyone tell me what is an information and can you give me example of a data and corresponding information from that data, or maybe that data and some other data? Yeah, what we get from processing the data. Yes, correct. So my next question, so right, so I always ask, my favorite word is why, not what. I asked what because I want to start the dialogue, but my real concern is why. Why do you want to process data? Why do we want to process data? So this is what is mean by studying. Studying is not පාඩම් කරනවා. Studying is අධ්‍යයනය කරනවා. ලංකාවේ පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ පාඩම් කරනවා කියන්නේ කවුරු හරි දුන්න නෝට් එකක් කටපාඩම් කරනවා. So what the other people use in the anywhere in the world is අධ්‍යයනය කරනවා. Study. Study means you look at what, why, how these things are related. So that is what is meant by study. So my question is, why do you want to process data? To make a task easier. Okay. Can you give me example of a data and information? So then I will accept the answer. Then I will accept the answer. So you have to give me a data and you have to give me the information that make your task easier. So if you can't give me a data and information, so that means still you are not ready to start information technology, because that means you don't have at least one example of information. So in the day one, just you must have some examples of data and information. So then you can say, yes, we started IT. Otherwise, you can't go somewhere and tell that I am studying IT. Then he will ask, give me example of information. So අපි කියන්නේ නෝන්ඩි වෙනවනේ එතකොට. එතකොට IT වල ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් එකක් දන්නේ නැතුව මෙච්චර කල් මොනවද IT කරේ කියලා ඊට පස්සේ. So daily weather and process in the current time, correct time to cultivate. Okay, so correct time to cultivate is basically not the information. That is the result of that information. Okay, result of that information. But anyway, that is a fairly good answer because you are very close to the answer. Right. For example, data is now these days it is raining. Right? These days, I don't know. In Colombo, it is heavily raining. Right now, it is not raining, but I know that I'm pretty sure in the today's night also we are going to have a lot of raining. So how much it rained today? How much it rained yesterday? How much it rained the day before? Those are data. Those are data. So for example, how much it rained yesterday? It is a data. Can you give me an example of information out of that? Anyone? So then I will say, yes, you know the ABC of ICT.
Daily weather report.
Daily weather report. Is it an information?
Or weather report of a particular month or something.
Yeah, I think that is a better answer. For example, if someone asks, which month you have the most rain? For example, in Colombo, do you know in your district, which month you have the most rain? Anyone? That is information. Right? That is information. Or someone is coming to you, visit you, say foreigner. So that person will ask, I am coming October. What is the weather in your area? So So that now if you can answer that, that is the information. For example, I know that in Colombo, the most rain is October. So therefore, I am expecting the worst in the next month. I am expecting the worst in the next month, not this month, because this September is the second worst. So I can do a search. Say Colombo weather. So not weather, climate. Climate. So let's say all months. Can I go to graphs? Yes. So you can see this is rainfall. So this is average rainfall, not this year. So over the past years. So this is the average rainfall for October. So I know that the biggest rainfall for Colombo is November. So therefore, this is the information I have. This is the information I have. Right? So now you know that these days the Asian Cup is here, right? So there are people criticizing, why did you take Asian Cup to Sri Lanka or at least to Colombo? Because this is the most rainy 2 months, say October, November. Right? Of course, the May is also there, but this is rainy season. So have they considered this? Have they used that information to schedule it? I don't think. Right? I don't think. So this is the information. So now I will go to the wet department. Says Sri Lanka weather. So Department of Meteorology. So they have the data. For example, I can go to something like, where is that? Yeah, daily rainfall. So that is, now I am showing you some data. Right. So this is, that is 7th, that is yesterday, right? No. Okay. So this is the daily rainfall for each and every city or district or whatever. You can see. So this is not the rainfall. Yeah, this is the rainfall. So Anuradhapura 22 millimeters, that is yesterday's rainfall. Badulla 0.1 and so on. And of course, Colombo 36.2, that's, you can see, second highest. The first is Katunayaka, right? And you can see that Mana, almost no rain, right? Badulla, almost nothing. So this is now we are looking at what? We are looking at data because this is yesterday's rainfall. So this is data and this is, so where was that? So earlier I was looking at information, right? Earlier I was looking at information. So that is which month we get the biggest rain. So that is information. So therefore, do you think that data is bad? No, data is good. Data is good. But information is better. And using information, what we can do? We can do prediction. So that is not information, that is the prediction. Right? For example, so using the past data, using the satellite information, and so on, right? We can do prediction. So that is not information, that is prediction. Okay. So let me search something like, say this is Colombo. Now it can predict what is going to happen in next 24 hours. You can see thunderstorms likely to continue for the next several hours. You can see. Of course, right now it is not raining, but it has been like this for the entire day today. Right? And what is going to happen in next few days? So this is not information. This is what is going to happen in the evening, what is going to happen in overnight, right? What is going to happen Friday, what is going to happen Saturday, what is going to happen 10th Sunday. These are not information. These are using the information they are predicting. So using the past data and of course using the satellite image and everything. So they are predicting what is going to happen in next few hours, next days and so on. So you must know what is data, what is information, what are the results of information. So your prediction is a result of the information. Okay. Right. So that is the first thing you have to understand if you are doing ICT. So data is raw. Just we collect something, just we measure something. We haven't done any processing. Right? So just the yesterday's rainfall, we just measure it. But when we process it, say we took the rainfall of the entire month and take the average rainfall. So that average rainfall is the information. Right? So when you process your raw data, what you get is the information. Okay. To do that, you have to do some calculations. So for example, if it is average, we have to add everything. Say 31 days, we have to add the rainfall of each day and we have to divide it by 31. So then we get the average rainfall. So that is more useful. Right? So when you do your A-level, you get the marks for 3 subjects. So then they calculate Z score. So your marks is data. So do you think that your marks is not useful? Because some of you guys told me that the data is not useful. Of course, your marks is useful. But information is more useful in a particular context. Okay. So raw data is something like raw rice. Right? If you are really, really hungry, you can consume that also. It's useful because from that you can make roti and so on. But when you process it, the roti itself or the boiled rice, that is your information. Right? So unit price of an item is data. The total bill amount is the information. That is what you are more interested because that is the amount you have to pay. Your marks is your data. It's useful, but maybe Z score is the one that they use to take those big decisions. Or GPA if it is a degree level. Okay. So each transaction amount for a business organization, they are data. But at the end, they want to calculate the profit and so on. Right? So that is information. So they by looking at the profit, people can predict, is it good for investment and so on, right? So that is not information. That is the result of information. Or by using information, we do some predictions, make decisions and so on. Right. So I hope now you have a good entry into the subject. Serious entry into the subject. Right? Not a very casual entry, ordinary entry into the subject. What we need is some serious people, right? Serious students. Right. So we can use information. Of course, we can use data also for personal things. And also we can use it for official or business things. For example, when you get up, you will see what is the time. So that time is a data. Right? You don't process anything, right? But that data itself can be used to make a decision. Should I get up or not? Or you will look at what date is today. It's a weekend, so I can sleep a little bit. No, it's Monday. I have to go for work. I have to attend school. Right? So we can use both data and information in personal context. Maybe you get a phone number of a student, a friend. So that is a personal data. So you use that data for personal purpose. At the same time, the businesses, they also use data and information, right? Preparing bills, prepare accounts, and so on. And of course, there are so many other places like weather prediction, policy making, and so on. Okay. So these are some usages of data, or usages of information rather. We can use it for prediction, right? So that information is used to do predictions. So we can use that information to do planning. So I can plan my trip. No, I'm not going to Nuwara. I like to go to Polonnaruwa because it's raining these days in the Nuwara. As you, of course, these days it's not much raining in Nuwara. Okay. But likewise, we can plan it. For example, now the cricket board is thinking whether they should take the cricket matches scheduled in Colombo to somewhere else, maybe Dambulla. But it's too late. Right? But anyway, now what they are doing is they look at the rain and take the decisions, rather than look at the information and take the decisions. So that is a bad thing about our country, right? So our guys look at the rain or the data and take the decisions, rather than look at information and take decisions. Right? So policy making and so on. So remember the central bank is increasing the interest rate, decreasing the interest rate. So they are adjusting it with the inflation rate. So they are heavily data oriented. So for example, in central bank, there are professionals who have done economics, and then other set of people have done statistics, computer science, data mining, right? Data science. So because they get together and take those decisions as a professional. So that is why the economy is going into the correct path now, because now it's under professionals, professional economists, professional statisticians, professional data scientists, right? It was under the Kaputa Maina set එකක් තමයි ඉස්සෙල්ලා හිටියේ. දැන් Kaputa Maina ටික එළුවා. Now it's under professionals. Now economy is recovering. Economy is going positive way because they know how to work with information. Okay. Right. So now let's look at what are the features of good information. Because information is good, but we can, because there's a competition, right? For example, I can get information from X or get information from Y or get information from Z in some cases. So therefore, we look for the best information. So what are the features of good information? It's a big list anyway. But anyway, these things are tested in your exams also. So good information is effective. Effective means it does the work. It is what you need. Good information is accurate. Good information has a timeliness. Timeliness means you get it when you need it. For example, if it is a tsunami alert, you need it within few minutes. Timeliness. Relevance. You need the relevant information, not all the garbage or irrelevant things. It must not be too expensive, right? Economical. Because there are some information you have to pay and get it. And the information must be reliable. So information must be complete, not just part of the information. I need the complete information. And it must be flexible. I can look at it in different ways, in a graphical format, tabular format. Right? For example, in that weather forecast also, I can do that. So good information, they try to put it in a very flexible manner. Right? Say. So you can look at it in a tabular way, you can look at it in a graphical way, it's very flexible, right? So that is what we need. And also it must be verifiable. Right? For example, when now the student, they get the A-level results, I think day before yesterday. Now anyone can verify their results. So they can give say I'm hiring someone for a job. I don't have to call the Department of Examination. I can ask, what is your index number? Then I can double check whether is it your real results or you are telling me a lie. Right? Verifiable. Okay. So good information is secure. So that is why people are willing to, right, access their bank accounts online, because they know it's secure. Right? So that is why we are using credit cards, because we know it is secure. We don't have to use paper money anymore. And also good information is simple. It's not overcomplicated. Good information is accessible. Right? So I can, about 20 years ago, if I want to check my account balance, bank account balance, I had to go to bank, but it is no longer the case. When someone says, I transfer money to you, at that time we had to go to the bank. But now we get the SMS. So accessible. Accessible while I'm at home, while I'm traveling. Right? So those are the features of good information. Okay. Right. So we look at some aspects of information. So we'll stop at this point. So we have to look at few more things because it's a first day I did it. Of course, I have to do it slowly because this is so it's something like even when you try to start a vehicle, right? So it's not going to move very fast, but once we are in track, once it is moving, then we can move it fast. So this is today what we did is we just make it running, make it moving. So therefore we had to do it slowly, but from next week onwards, we will be doing much faster. And of course, I am someone who do things very fast. That is why we are taking only 2 hours. So 2 hours, we do it fast. Okay. So I like you to do 2 hours studying and 2 hours playing cricket rather than doing 4 hours studying. So that is why it is 2 hours, right? Right. So let's stop at this point. So next week, we will start the introduction to computer also. All right. So we'll finish this topic. It will take another 1 hour. So then, of course, the first topic we have some more subtopic, but we straight away start the second topic also, introduction to computer. So then both the topics will go parallelly. Okay, go parallelly because so these two subtopics are interrelated. So you need the understanding of the computer to better understand information systems. Okay, so that is why we are starting both. Okay, right. So we'll be starting on time all the time, right? If it is 4, it is 4 because we are having only 2 hours. We don't have time to waste. Okay, right. So and also the first month you don't have to do any payments or anything, right? So you can just attend your classes and see whether things are going okay. So then I will send you the payment details and other things. And if you haven't filled the application form, so just use this link. Sorry, not this one. Use this form to fill your application. Then I will be giving you the temporary access to the Google Classroom. From the Google Classroom, you can download the today's sessions, the PDF files. I am not giving you any notes. No, I am not giving any notes. The PDF file itself is the note. And if you want, you can just take any other side notes during the class because I don't want to waste time by giving notes. That the note I am supposed to give is the PDF file. Okay, so that is prepared thinking that that is the note I am supposed to give. Okay, so therefore you don't have to take notes, but you can take your own notes or highlight that note and so on. But you can do that only if you come to the session after reading for example, before you come into the next class, make sure you read the introduction to computer note and count. So then you are in a better position to understand it. Okay, for example, I will show you where the note is. Right, and also you can download the syllabus from here. Right, syllabus. Have a look at the syllabus. And this is the note I used today. Of course, we haven't finished it. And this is the other topic we will be starting next week. Okay, right. So we'll stop at this point, right? And if you have any questions or anything to clarify, use the WhatsApp group or send me a message. I will be answering or responding each and every message. Okay, right. Any questions you are having? No? Anything?
No.
Okay, so then we'll stop it. Okay, right. Thank you.